welcome to all on behalf of Institution's Innovation Council of KAVERI College of Arts, Science and Commerce. I, Ms. Aditi Kofle, TY BBA Admin, welcome our panelists, Mr. Amit Bagayatkar, founder Shikawni App, Dr. Mumta Pandit, founder BioBasket, Mr. Archit Devdar, founder Nine Lives Cat Care. I also welcome Dr. Kalwarkar, Principal Kaveri College, Dr. Anand Budrikot, Vice Principal Kaveri College, Mrs. Chitra Adoni, IQAC Head, Mrs. Sonia Bhubochkar, President, Institutions Innovation Council. A big welcome to all the coordinators, faculty, and the audience. I request all the dignitaries for lighting of the auspicious lamp be professional. Now I request everyone to rise for Vidyabhiti. Now, I call upon Mrs. Sonia Kumbhashkar, President, Institutions Innovation Council, to introduce today's program.
Thank you, Aditi. Good morning, everyone. Respected guests, Mr. Bhargatkar, Mr. Devdhan, Dr. Pandit, our Principal, Dr. Mukta Karmalkar, Vice Principal, Dr. Anand Dekho, Mrs. Chitra Alami, Head IQAC, all the coordinators, faculty, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the Institution's Innovation Council panel discussion. IIC is a platform which believes in the power of young minds to transform ideas into something more meaningful and impactful. IIC is the initiative of the Ministry of Education, Government of India. Students, we are living in a time of change and opportunity. We are very lucky when our country, India, is not only a canvas of innovation but a lab of experimentation. Through visionary missions like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, our nation is calling on its youth, and youth means you all the young, bright, fearless, and curious students of our motherland, to build a strong future for her. Thus, with this motive in mind at our IIC, we want to nurture this spirit in our students by conducting various activities like mentoring sessions, pitching competitions, hackathons, panel discussions, and guest lectures. So students, let us grow, inspire, and ignite the spirit of young India. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Innovation.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Mukta Karmalkar to address the audience.
Thank you, Aditi. Namaskar. And a very good morning to all of you. Respected Amit ji, Archit ji, Devdhan, Gupta ji, Sonia ji, and coordinators, my dear students. We have already welcomed our guests, and at the same time, we have also welcomed all of you. I would like to tell something about Kaveri College to our guests, as well as those who are in the first year, they have joined us this year. Just a little bit about Kaveri College. That is what exactly we believe in. So, at Kaveri College, we don't believe only in the lectures which are conducted in the classroom. Right now, also, you must have seen that all of you are here in the AV room. So, classroom instruction is not the only instruction which is given to our students. And because of that, it helps them to understand what exactly is going on in the outside world. So just textbook knowledge is not going to be imparted to you in these 3 years. You will be able to get in talks, in conversation with people like these three who have done a lot in their lives. They have done something which is absolutely different. If you understand what Mr. Archit Devdhan is doing, he must be 3 or 4 years older to all of you. But you need to understand what different kinds of innovative ideas are there for business. So not necessarily everything you're going to get in the textbooks. That is why attend all the sessions of IIC Cell. I congratulate Sonia Kamboskar and her team for conducting such innovative, insightful programs for our students, and be a part of each and every such kind of a program which the college is giving you different opportunities. Secondly, today, once we are done with this panel discussion, I urge all of you to ask as many questions as you can. Because sometimes it happens you have a question in your mind, but because of some kind of constraints, you don't want to ask. So don't fear asking questions. We have our guests here who are ready to help you out with their answers. Participate as much as you can and make the most of every opportunity that this college is giving you. So I welcome all the guests once again, and I welcome you all. Make the most of this particular session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Let us now introduce our guests for today. Our first panelist is Mr. Amit Bagaikar, founder of Shikhavani app. Shikhavani is an innovative education platform designed for the students of Marathi and semi-English medium schools all over Maharashtra. I request Dr. Mukta Karmakar to felicitate Mr. Amit Bagaikar. Our second panelist is Dr. Mukta Pandit, founder of BioBasket. BioBasket is a Pune-based cooperative organic farming initiative. Ma'am is a doctorate in the field of agriculture. I request Dr. Anand Buddhikot to felicitate Dr. Mukta Pandit. Our third panelist is Mr. Archit Devgar, founder of Nine Lives Cat Cafe on Ferguson College Road, Pune. He has a degree in culinary arts from the University of Birmingham. Sir is passionate about creating innovative dishes and improving restaurant standards. It is interesting to know that Archit sir has a leading role in national award-winning films like Killa and Sitna, and won the Best Child Actor Award at Zee Gaurav Puraskar in 2015. Thus, I request Dr. Mukta Karmakar to felicitate Mr. Archit. Let us give a big round of applause to our panelists. And let us now begin with the panel discussion. Thank you.
I request the panelists to please take their positions. Good morning. I'm Rama from SYBBA.
Good morning everyone. I am Aman from KYBBACA. I request Raman to start with the panel discussion.
Let us begin with a round of common questions for all three panelists. The first question is, what inspired you to become an innovator or startup owner? Mr. Aman.
English, Hindi, Marathi, mix is fine. So for me, after say around 25 years in the corporate world, I was looking for different options. Actually, always had in mind that something should have for thus that was the trigger. And very specifically about this topic and the app. Over the years, we have studied it in small business also. So I knew what the differences are, what the gaps are. And that was always in mind that how we can minimize that gap, or how we can help different students at different small businesses to. Okay. Is it better? Yes. Okay. So always in mind that how we can help everybody, not just Pune or Mumbai or big towns have all the facilities, but even the small villages, students should get everything that we can offer. And that triggered us thinking, and we started actually analyzing what the situation is. So quick statistics told us that over 15 lakh plus students appear in state board 10th standard. So that means you have 15 lakh students to address. Okay. And all these 15 lakh students are, quite a few are concentrated in bigger towns, but up to 60 to 70% still are in either tier 2 towns or smaller villages. And most of them learn in local language, or let's say local curriculum. So Maharashtra State Board. And there are not many apps available for this. There are few good YouTube videos, definitely, but those are talking about concepts and they are not talking about the entire syllabus. So we realized that there is a potential gap which we can address. And thus this is how we started.
Yes, sir. Dr.
So for me, I was in Germany for 9 years and for my research and master's. And after coming back in 2019, I wanted to continue with that research. But after meeting a lot of companies, I realized that agriculture core research in India is very limited. And there are a lot of other grassroots problems that are associated with farming that needs to be addressed. And when I was doing my research in Germany with a company, they were trying to develop some organic variety of soil inputs that will help to keep or increase the productivity of farming and everything. So what I realized is why not start with the farming itself? Because all my 9 years of my career, I had always been working in a lab, and I did not know that what are actual farming related problems or how the hands-on farming is done. My only experience to farming was that I was working with a worldwide organic farming organization called WOOF in Germany that gives you volunteering opportunities at any organic farms in the world. So I used to go there on weekends just to understand how different farming techniques are used. And so after coming back, I realized that probably I should start with this. I never had a business in mind. I had never thought about diversity at day one when I started with farming. In my 10 generations, paternal, maternal, nobody has done farming, forgetting with gardening. So, but I decided to get into this. A family friend offered me a land near Pune, and I started with farming. So for 2 years, I developed that 27 acres of farm on my own, like literally from irrigation to everything. And that's how the idea of a biobasket sprouted, because when I was with that 40 types of vegetables grown on the farm, I was like, okay, this needs to be sold. And it was just before COVID, so it was the very right time for me to really get into this. So what started as was like taking orders on WhatsApp. My sister used to help me from US, and we used to deliver the produce in my own car, doing home deliveries like to 25 friends and family network. And that's how it started. And then later on, when I realized during COVID that there was a real need for clean food, hygienic food. At that time, people were not thinking whether it's organic or whether it's conventional. Everyone wanted vegetables, doorstep delivery. And we really got a boost during that COVID time. And that's when it struck me that, okay, this could be an impact first business where I could really help the farmers who are already doing organic farming to get the right marketing channel for them. Because I can really use my expertise there when I know what are actually problems in organic farming. So that's how the idea for Biobasket started, and now past 2 years we are full-fledged e-commerce platform. We do not have a store, and yeah, that was how it was for me.
That's great. Archit sir?
I don't think I ever had an idea or an inkling towards starting my own business. I'm only 23, so there's not a lot of time provided for me to have these kind of thoughts. But say circumstances or certain experiences in life make you do the things that you do. For example, when I left India and went to England for 4.5 years, I left when I was 19 for my bachelor's. I never planned on coming back because the field that I've chosen, hospitality, doesn't pay as well in India, or doesn't used to. Hospitality abroad pays very well, and especially when you go as a 19-year-old, you're paying tuition fees. Money is an important factor that you think about because your parents have paid a certain amount that you wish to give them back, not necessarily give them back, but at least make that amount and come back, or not be a financial burden on your parents for 4 consecutive years, especially when you have a younger sister and she's studying and all of that. So making money abroad was an important factor of going there. But being in the UK for almost 5 years has made me realize how much better India actually is, and that is the reason why I'm here. UK or say USA, I don't think is the Western dream that it used to be or may have been at a time. I think India and our other fellow Asian countries is where it's at the moment. All technology, innovation, youth, ideas, everything is happening in our own soil. and that is why I decided to come back. But when you decide to leave, a comfortable job, a comfortable paycheck that you get used to seeing every month for say 4 years, you often wonder what am I supposed to do when I go back, because no one's gonna pay me what they paid me in the UK. India will definitely not pay me. Even a minimum wage when I started as a bartender in a small corner side pub gave me enough money to sustain myself and my tuition fees, my rent and all my bills. That won't be the case here. So then moving out becomes a problem. That's why most of our youth still prefers to live with their parents, and which is fine, it is within our culture. But the financial aspect is also a major part of it, is where you can't really afford moving out. That is why so many generations have decided to live with their parents, because A, I think it's common and we can think of them as a backup plan, and B, you don't necessarily get that kind of a package at the first job that you get rent a place or buy a place and move out. So when you come back with a perspective of, okay, what am I going to do? I think the first answer that came was a business has to be something that I would want to do in India, because that gives me the independence that I was used to. As a 19-year-old, when you go abroad, you live for 4.5 years, you're used to that certain kind of independence, your own jobs, your own things. So to keep that going, I think business is the best way to go forward. But then, okay, business is sorted. What business? Almost everybody who's gone abroad in hospitality or culinary has come back and started up a bakery or a restaurant or a cafe. Pune especially, I've seen it change, the food scene as we call it now. The food scene has changed vastly over the 4 years. I used to come once a year and there would be 15 new restaurants opened up within my 5 kilometer radius. So how do you tackle this congestion or this staggering amount of restaurant businesses opening up? So then you need to find something that's unique. So in Birmingham, I had a cat cafe in my city which I visited. Japan has quite a few. India, when we first began the ideation for this, only had 3. 2 in Bombay, 1 in Delhi, I think. But then Pune didn't have one. So then, okay, to start a cat cafe, how do we go about starting something that's not been done before? Fortunately, I've always called myself very lucky. Given my past say maybe the movies or being able to go abroad, luck has been a very important factor in my journey. So my dad actually owns a veterinary pharmaceutical business. So he already had contacts in the veterinary field. So going forward with that, we came into contact with people who have NGOs who have cats up for adoption, know a lot about cats, because I myself have never been a cat person until now. We never had a pet cat, we always had dogs. So how do you move forward with a pet that you never actually had, you don't know anything about them? Cats are very independent, so there's not a lot to be done for them. But you do need to understand the basics of having a pet, and about 14 of them now. So I think coming back and starting something, doing something and being independent is what might have pushed me into having this business today.
That's a great answer. If your business was a movie, what would the title be and why?
The movie floor probably.
That's a difficult one. I would say something like basement to basket, because I literally started from a basement and my entire family was involved in packaging. Me and my husband used to do the deliveries, so literally it is a basement to basket journey. So yeah.
I don't know movie, but maybe Tom and Jerry. We have Toms, and I'm the Jerry being chased around with so many other things. So I would maybe say Tom and Jerry.
As an entrepreneur, what's one money mistake you have learned from?
There are quite a few, honestly. one most important thing in what we are doing right now is it's called a B2C, it is business to direct consumer, that you're taking your product. And that too in a small village is what we aim at. In that journey, it becomes very difficult to convince individuals that this is something going to be useful for your child. And that's where I believe was the core part which we struggled a lot. And then we realized that the door-to-door campaign is the best mechanism. I mean, somebody has to convince parents that this is good. Social media doesn't help that.
I wouldn't say money mistake exactly, but I would say that before starting business, I would have told myself to have more financial clarity. I was always in science, I was always in lab, and I never looked at numbers. They were never my favorite. But after starting the business, I realized the importance of it, and I think it's an impact first business, but no business runs with heart. It has to be sustainable. And I would have told myself to have the financial clarity that I have now. I wish I had it 5 years back probably, that instead of just all hard, it should have been a little bit of more spreadsheets. And yeah, that's the mistake I wish I would have corrected before. Yeah.
I think for me it's pretty easy. Cheap doesn't always mean it's good quality. So when it comes to spending money on something that is very important, you need to have a list of what is most important for your business and what isn't. So things that are important, you should spend the money that is asked of out of it. Because cutting corners hasn't helped anyone for the longer run. You might, save a few pennies here and there, and say you're buying a big machinery and you cut corners and it's cheap and it works for you for 6 months, but then the repairing of that costs you even more. So might as well just spend what you initially wanted to and not hold back. And secondly, I would say not to jump on the first number that you're provided with. Negotiation is, I think, we as Indians are blessed with it. So we should use our negotiation tactics everywhere. If you think that you can get the number down, go for it. Plead your cause, and I think be adamant and have your reasons ready. Don't just negotiate because you think you can save money. There should be a proper reasoning for why you think that this product or this service only deserves this much amount. And I never negotiate with artists, so if they tell you that this is what they would charge, just pay them. That is, I think, you should never negotiate with artists and farmers, never.
Can you describe the turning point or an aha moment in your journey?
Okay. Very simple, one example I give. I got a call somewhere around 9:30 in the evening, and this student was calling me and saying, "Sir, mother phone visit padla hai, and we have a lock to the app, but it locks to the particular phone. And he wanted me to help him with the new app." So I said, "Fine, don't worry, we'll get it sorted." They gave me two things. One is it has reached to a right location and a person and a student. And second thing is they are using it. So that was a good confidence in terms of what we have built. And after that I got numerous calls, very similar calls, but this was the starting point.
I think for me, there was not one particular moment, but as I said, that COVID really gave us a boost of confidence as well, that we can do this. And there were a lot of people who were in need of that. But after the COVID passed, of course, we got a lot of customer base during COVID. But after COVID passed and when we started with like a real world business, we got one call from one person whose mother was suffering from cancer. And she had started with the treatment and everything was going well. And we really wanted to make sure that where can you get the best clean produce from, because now the doctor has advised that try to get organic produce if you know an authentic source. And so he did a lot of inquiry. He actually came to my office. He did 1 hour of inquiry session, like where is the produce coming from, how it's grown, and this and that. And such moments, I think they give you that, that thought that, okay, you are doing something good, you are doing something impactful. And that was the moment when I realized that, okay, I can really help people. So it's the three angles basically. It's the health, it's the sustainability, and it's the farmer upliftment. And that's when you realize that you are doing something right. That was the one moment when I realized this.
I think my whole life has been an aha moment. When you sit here at 23 years old and look with your fellow peers. Maybe me getting the chance to act in movies or going to Berlin for my film festival, winning awards or having the opportunity to go abroad. But I think the one moment that sticks is when I was in 9th standard and I was in SPL 1 year ago. So SPL English School, we had a tradition where 9th standard would host the farewell for 10th standard students, and I was the copier for that evening. And we had an ex-student who came as a chief guest, who was into merchant navy, and he came as a chief guest, who was an ex-student of our own school. So as an alumni, he was there addressing the students as a chief guest, and I was in 9th then. I thought one day that is what I want to do. And right before I went to the UK, I got a call from my school that will you be the chief guest for our annual gathering. And I think that was a full circle moment for me. I don't think anything would top that as of yet.
If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice before starting your business, what would it be?
Marketing is most important. That is something which I gave an example where we got ahead. So that's something which should have you on your plan, which will help you to reach the right people faster.
As I already said, I think for me it would be this financial clarity. I think really know your numbers from day one and not learn it along the journey, but really have that financial clarity at the beginning of your business when you plan. And that would be the advice I would really give my younger self back then.
I don't know how much younger self should I address to at this moment, but maybe, so when I did 11th and 12th, I took science because I got really great marks in 10th standard. So I gave NEET, I gave CET, and at one point of time I thought I wanted to become a doctor. And 11th, 12th, I didn't actually enjoy what I was doing at all. I did not like science. Up until 10th, I loved it, but the gap between 10th and 11th was something that absolutely put me off. So maybe I'd tell the 11th standard chick that just do what you're doing. It's fine if you don't get it, because me not getting amazing marks in 11th and 12th is the reason I am here today. So it's fine if you didn't like it and you didn't feel like scoring or you couldn't score for whatever reason. It's fine. Everything works out at the end.
That was a really great answer. So moving on to the round 2, we have a set of speaker-specific questions for each one of you. So let's begin with Mukta ma'am. The tech and logistics space is often seen as fast-paced, competitive, and still largely male-dominated. But breaking into the world as a woman and building a successful business takes a different kind of grit. So, what was your experience as a female founder in a competitive tech and logistics space?
I would say the picture now is much changed. I would say it was back 10 years ago in terms of tech space. I would say farming is very much largely male dominated. I mean, imagine me going to a farm and people were looking at me like, every day I used to go at the farm, and it's hard for people to believe you that you are actually going to do farming and make a business out of it. I used to worry for my safety as well. On a 27-acre of land, I used to be alone. So, of course, there are very much typical women-oriented problems that you face, but resilience is the only thing that I think that can survive you, be it male or female. especially when you're starting a business. And in tech space, I would say the picture has changed quite a lot. There are not like women-specific problems that you really face. But yes, when you go to an investor or something, they really look at you whether you are a young mother, whether you are recently married and you are going to have a baby, then the investor really thinks whether really to invest in your business or not. But fortunately, I had a privilege that my family only helped me invest in my own business. It's a bootstrapped one. But I had one experience with the investor when the situation had come when I was heavily pregnant, like 8 months. And I think he had doubts whether to really invest in this or not, whether she can really take it ahead or not. So there are typical women-oriented problems that you have to face. So, but you've got to do it, but you have to do it, or what you have decided to do it. So, yeah.
Thanks, ma'am. So, for Mr. Archit sir, running a cafe is no easy task, from managing staff to keeping customers happy. But when you add a bunch of furry friends moving around, it's a whole different ballgame. So, what's the most unexpected challenge that comes mixing hospitality with pet care?
I think being hospitable as a cafe and being a hospitality business, but also being assertive enough with the house rules that we have. Because we do have 14 cats running around. So as a customer, yes, we will be hospitable to you, but you need to follow the rules that we set out. They are there for a reason. So if a staff member asks you to remove your shoes and socks, it is a well thought out process. If they ask you to sanitize your hands, there's a very good reason behind it. What initially we faced was a massive backlash on, oh, there's too many rules in this cafe. But obviously, yes, because it's not just a cafe, it's a pet-friendly place where the cats live there and you're the guest. So you need to come in thinking that you're the guest and this is their home. So you don't go around your friend's house doing whatever you want, right? It's what their parents or they will decide for you. This is where you sleep and this is the dinner time, this is what you do, whatever. So it's the same, how do you say, same sort of an understanding that people need to have is when you walk in. It's not like we bombard you with rules and nicely put up on a wall for you to read, but the problem is we don't read. Indians are not, how do you say, don't take instructions very well. They get offended really quickly. पुणेकरच तर त्याच्यावर जास्त काही बोलायची सोय नाही त्यामुळे हळूहळू का होईना त्या गोष्टी बदलतात आम्ही instead of giving out the instructions, what we do is we tell them to read them. So it is less assertive, but it does the same job. So I think that's the most unexpected task that we didn't think we might face, but people would be so angry at us for giving them basic instructions on how to handle our pets. But yeah, it is what it is.
For Mr. Amit sir, at the end of the day, the true impact of an EdTech product lies in what the learners take away from it. So I'd like to know, has there been a feedback from a student that really stayed with you? What was the most powerful piece of feedback you have received from a student that changed the whole scenario for you?
I'll give two examples here. In the first year when we had just mathematics done and we were working on science and English, so we had no way to understand whether we are doing right, whether we are doing wrong, and whether the content that we are producing is helping us. We got one student, of course, it was through some acquaintance that she had really difficult prelim exams in 10th standard, and she was looking for some help. So we said, okay, we have content ready, you can go through this. See that for any student I realize that this is a challenge between prelim and the final exam. It's not easy to get in touch with your teachers. I mean, though there will be some 1 hour dedicated in school, but it is difficult. And secondly, even the coaching classes are done. Okay, so it's like you're on your own man, you have to get through it. So in that situation, this content, she did entire syllabus through the content and she could jump from 65 to 85. And that she came back literally jumping, saying that this was a great talent. So that was good satisfaction. And 2 weeks ago, I was in Shahuwadi, Kolhapur, which is close to, just before you get into Kogan area. So there we had sold mathematics in 3 years ago, and the parent of that student actually came to meet us from 15 kilometers on a bike, saying that I just wanted to see. It was a good gesture from their side, as well as we felt that feedback in terms of yes, it is useful.
It was really great to know that Sikkim is really changing lives. So for the round 3, let's have some fun with the rapid fire. We'll give you 10 seconds each to answer the questions. So let's begin with Mukta ma'am. Innovation in one word.
Innovation is, I think you're one.
Okay. So the next question. One entrepreneur you look up to.
So Vani Gola, she is someone I really look up to.
What's your stress buster?
Music and being in the farm.
What's more important, motivation or discipline?
Both equally, but I would say discipline.
A book that inspires you a lot.
The Michelle Obama autobiography. That's something becoming. That's something really inspires me.
Thanks, ma'am. For Mr. Amit sir, AI or human intelligence? What's winning?
I think combination will win. Combination will win.
If not a founder, then what would you be?
Farmer.
So, with your platform, where would you approach first? India first or global first?
India first.
Knowledge or marks?
It's difficult. Can't answer, I think, right away. Because, okay, give me a minute here. See, marks are important from the taking the next step. Knowledge is important across life. And so both are important. And what I've realized is if you have good knowledge of that subject, you'll score good.
A founder that you admire?
Quite a few. I can't name one thing, to be honest.
Okay, sir. For Mr. Archit sir, innovation in one word.
I'll say what she said before, resilience is the ability to not give up and just keep going.
What's your stress buster?
My 14 cats now.
That I think everyone knows now. Thank you, sir. If not a founder, then what would you be?
A chef, which I was.
So, Instagram or Zomato, what brings more traffic?
Instagram, sure.
If you could describe your cafe in one word.
Stop. Cute, I couldn't come with it. Tom and Jerry, 3 words.
Time for some quirkiness. Let's go offbeat and funky with our last set of questions. So far, Archit sir, where did you get all the cats from?
So, that's a question I get asked on the daily. Some of them are adopted from friends and family. Some of them are actually rescued. And not just English, but even exotic breeds like Bengals and Persians have also been rescued. Which was the idea initially, because people don't think of an exotic breed when we say rescue. We automatically assume it might be an indie cat. So that, and then there have been people that have voluntarily approached us saying we can't take care of our cat anymore, please take them in. So we started with 9 initially, and now we're at 14. We are at full capacity, so please don't ask me to take in.
Mukta ma'am, what's your take on the recent trend of eating avocados and broccolis in the name of diet?
So I'm not against them. I sell them. I grow broccoli. But of course, we always, like even on our Instagram platform or on social media, we always tell people that of course eating local and seasonal is something really, really good for you, good for your health, good for your gut. Because certain things have been grown in your region for a particular reason. Because your genetic makeup is like that. Some things you can digest better according to season. So here it's monsoon, but in Delhi it's not. So what's grown in Delhi probably might not suit you here in this particular season. It's same with avocados and broccolis. Broccolis are now grown locally as well. So even avocados, for that matter, they're growing for right now. So we have Indian avocados too. So there's nothing wrong in these new food trends that are coming up, especially with the superfoods or natural foods. But I would really encourage everyone to really eat what is seasonal and local and which has not crossed really a lot of miles to get to your plate.
Amit sir, if Shikhamji were a student, what kind of report card would it bring home?
There's no report card right now.
I'm sure these set of questions added zest to the panel discussion. I declare the panel open for the audience. If you have any questions for the panelists, please ask. Yes, anyone with any question? Any questions, audience? Students? No questions? You got all the information? Yes.
I would like to ask Mr. Arjit a question. I myself have a cat at home and they are not always well behaved. So if any of your cats like hisses or maybe bites the customer, what will you do in that situation?
We've never had an incident where a cat is big to the customer, but as I said, we have some rules set out in place. So when we say be gentle or if they're sleeping, don't disturb them. And if you blatantly do what I ask you not to and you get scratched, I think that's on you. So we do provide Dettol and Band-Aids, but other than that, that's your fault, I'll be very honest.
Thank you.
Yes.
Was there any legal difficulties on founding any business or watch with? What were the legal difficulties you faced?
I would not say legal difficulties, but especially when you are running an FMCG or food business, there are a lot of legal compliances you have to go through. And I think getting the knowledge of it beforehand is always beneficial instead of knowing it along the way. So I would not say difficulty, but a lot of legal compliances that you have to follow, especially running a food business.
Not exactly the legal again, but see, you have to be watchful. One of the thing is, now we got security name as a brand, so it's now a registered brand. No one else can use it. Even similar spelling they cannot use. Still, people are trying to misuse it. So, and especially not in Maharashtra, but from outside states. And we keep getting calls that okay, they ask money for us from us, and we gave the money. So we have to convince those individuals that we are not those people doing this thing. And then we have to prove that what our brand and number and everything says is different than what the others are doing. So yeah, you have to be very watchful once you launch. Post-launch, of course, it continues for a while.
I just would like to mention, I was just talking to her before, Muttamam, that so for me, it is also the trademark. So for BioBasket, we have an IP case going on, intellectual property case going on against Big Basket. So Big Basket objects to anyone with the name basket in it. So IP or the trademark is something you should, or whatever name you decide for your business, you should really protect it right from day one. Even the logo, the name, the way it's written, and anything like that. I did not know that before because for me the name came out of fashion. So bio or PO in German means organic. I had stayed in Germany, so that just came out of like something that I had experienced or lived in. But later on, all these things came in. So not a legal difficulty, I would say, but yeah, IP is something you should really look into when starting a business.
I don't think we had any legal problems as such because, as you can attest, opening up a cafe has become very easy. Does not take a lot of hard work. But when you open something like we have at 9 Lives, more than legal, you have a social compliance that you have to adhere to. Is you have to please your customers, but at the same time, as I said, take care of the cats that you've really fostered or adopted. So somewhere bridging that gap between being a business but also a shelter for these abandoned pets is when the social compliance comes in. I think that was the biggest challenge for us to please both customers who come in for a coffee and customers who are animal advocates and want to say a piece about or would want to say something about how we keep our cats. So that has been the biggest challenge till now.
Is anyone else?
What common mistake do you see in India entrepreneurs do to start a business?
I say from my point of view is the lack of research. When you start something, you wish to start something, what most of us tend to do is jump straight into it. I think the education system in India is also changing for the better now, where research is inculcated in the syllabus as and how you go. But when I was in, say, school, but not a long time ago, but 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, whatever projects we were given, the idea was to go on Wikipedia, copy paste, and submit it. The ideology of doing actual and factual research was not imbibed in me at all, which was a problem when I went abroad because when you go into university outside of India, all you have to do is research and Wikipedia is not a source. And you learn that the hard way when your first assignment comes in and you didn't score what you thought you would. So research and a lot of research is, I think, what we were lacking on. It is getting for the better, but finding that loophole and getting factual and actual information is very important.
I think I would add to that, like Archit rightly said, research is something that we should really do starting from day one. Of course, a lot of things pivot, a lot of things change later on. One thing that you might start from might have changed into complete 180 degrees, and that's okay. But doing the research from day one is very important. Also, I would add that knowing your audience or the market for what you are starting as a business is something very important. I always tell even our farmers that don't plant 1 एकरावरती कांदाच plant केला आहे and then you are thinking की आता तो कुठे विकायचा. That's not something we do at BioBasket. We encourage them that know the demand and then increase the crop production. So knowing your market is something that really should be done right from day one is what I would say.
Yes.
My question is to so why do many farmers still rely heavily on chemical farming despite they know there are risks?
A very good question. It just आपल्याकडे आपण जर बघितलं तर शेतकरी हा त्या सीझन मध्ये त्याला काय मिळणार याच्यावरती त्याचं सगळं अवलंबून असतं. Like his entire household is dependent on that particular season, what he's going to earn through it. So he does not or he cannot think of what next 20 years is going to bring to him or to his soil, but he has to just think for that reason, for that season. And for the same reason, I think they use a lot of heavy chemicals. Current, for example, strawberry grow करणारा शेतकरी असतो, तर त्याला त्या सीझनचं स्ट्रॉबेरी प्रोटेक्ट करायचे no matter what, because strawberry grapes which is seasonal fruits आहेत, and these crops are very susceptible to pests. And weather and everything can really affect that. So, त्या seasons जर produce केलं, तर there is nothing that is in his hands that is going to look forward to for the next year, let's say. So, त्यामुळे पुढच्या 20 वर्षांचा विचारच केला जात नाही. आणि त्याकरताच आम्ही हे थोडं फार्मर्स बरोबर पिक्चर चेंज करायचा प्रयत्न करतो की त्यांना राईट प्राइस कशी देता येईल. तर they are encouraged to continue those organic farming practices that they follow. And for that reason, I think a long-term picture is what a farmer lacks, but we have to give that knowledge to them that पुढच्या 20 वर्षात probably soil complete infertile होऊन जाईल. If you use lot of chemicals, 20 वर्षांना काही याच्यातनं growth होणार नाही. I think हे knowledge तिथे नसतं, त्यामुळे use of heavy chemicals आणि pesticides and fertilizers होतो. त्याच्यात त्यांची खरं तर चूक नसते. And also again, till urea is subsidized in our country, not much can be done about it. असं पण एक त्याच्याकडे factor आहे.
Yes, anyone?
My question is for all three of you. I would like to ask that would you offer any internships for undergraduate and postgraduate students?
Yes, we do. And you are most welcome. So those interested can reach out to me, and we'll find a great opportunity.
I think right on the spot, she's hit the networking nerve straight up. So, if you're interested in hospitality and want some kind of customer interaction and experience in that field, definitely approach us. And we have done internships before. We even had a Japanese national for an internship not long ago. His name was Riku, and he came from Japan as an exchange program through Rotary. And he stayed in Pune for 3 months, if I'm not wrong, and he was with us at 9 Lives for 3 months working as a team member. So if you're willing to experience hospitality and have an inkling towards the hospitality field, please definitely reach out and we will be able to help you out.
Same goes with me, just approach us and definitely we can think of an opportunity for an internship, be it supply chain, if you're ready to work at the farm, just I'm very happy to offer anything, and yeah, just approach us and we'll find an opportunity for you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I actually have two questions. Like, how did you guys decide the price of your product or a service? And especially to Arjun sir, how do you like get the recurring customers in your cafe? Like for this generation, we tend to experience different cafes every time we go out. So how do you get those recurring customers for a cafe?
So to answer your first question and go with what Gupta said before, is for you to know your target market. And when you know your target market, you automatically design a product that goes well with your target market. That is the first step, I think, is to understand where my cafe is at or where it's located. I am blessed with having multiple colleges around, so people like you who are automatically my recurring target market. You bunk your classes, you come there, you bring people on dates and all of that. So that in itself is the first thing was automatically sorted out for me because of the location. Then the second part is how do I make you come back? There's a term called gamification, which is when you know how you dangle a carrot in front of a little rabbit and he just keeps walking. You may or may not give that carrot to him, but he doesn't know that. So gamification comes in place when you place some sort of a loyalty program where okay, you come with us for 5 times and you sit through his episode on us. How many of you will actually come for 5 times? I don't know. But that is for me to test out and for you to actually come in. So you indirectly what you do is give me that business when you visit 5 times. And the sixth time is a little gesture on our end for being that loyal to the idea of coming back. We also started with community events not long ago. We host game nights and trivia nights on Wednesdays with the age group as such as yours, so that you can come and have that kind of a social interaction, or as a friend in the back and network with other people. So we have people coming in who come by themselves, come solo, come with a group of 5, 6, 7, come with their parents, with their sister, with their colleagues, and it's about 25, 30 of them, strangers, playing house party games like being surrounded with cats. I don't think there's any better way of breaking the ice when you don't know someone initially. So I think to get that recurring market is for you to be innovative in terms of, okay, now you've opened up a cafe, but now it's been 6 months, it's time to go to the second phase, is how you make people come again and again. The first 6 months is for you to test the waters, if people are actually coming and by what numbers. So say if I can attest that Saturdays and Sundays is very busy, I have a queue outside for people wanting to book for slots and slots. But that is not the picture on weekdays. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, we don't have a lot of footfall coming in because all you guys, which are my target market, are for some reason attending classes. So how do I encourage you to come and visit on a weekday evening when Thursday morning you might have classes or somewhere to be? So that is when you innovate and come up with new ideas. And thankfully being abroad has helped me because the weekday pub quizzes are a very common thing in England, where everybody goes to their corner pub at 6 p.m, drinks a lot of beers and answers questions, and they even win a cash prize at the end of the quiz. So again, gamification, you just put it out that winner takes it all. They don't know how much, they just really takes it all, and they're there for 3 hours. So that is something that you have to play around with, play with words to make people come up with different ideas for them to enjoy. And I think Instagram has become the best marketing agency out there, because you come, you visit my cafe, you put up a story, 10 of your friends see that, go on my page, find out about me without me having to do anything. I'm just sitting there. You are the ones who are making people come in. I'm thankful for that. So keep coming.
Yes, last 1 or 2 questions, anyone?
We have to start a business. Which kind of suggestion or recommendation will you give to us? कोणत्या अशा जास्त गोष्टी त्याच्याकडे आम्ही लक्ष देऊ?
मी म्हटलं तसं रिसर्च, तुम्हाला काय बिझनेस उघडायचा ह्याची क्लॅरिटी आधी तुम्हाला स्वतःला पाहिजे. ती क्लॅरिटी असेल तर तुम्ही तुमच्या इन्व्हेस्टर्सना सांगा. तुमचे इन्व्हेस्टर्स जर तुमचे आई वडील असतील तरी यू नीड टू मेक देम बिलीव्ह इन युअर ओन आयडिया. जस्ट बिकॉज ते तुमचे आई बाबा आहेत, यू कांट एक्सपेक्ट देम टू जस्ट थ्रो मनी ॲट यू. देयर नीड्स टू बी समथिंग सबस्टॅन्शियल बिहाइंड द आयडिया. सो लॉट्स ऑफ रिसर्च बॅकिंग युअर आयडिया. तुमच्या रिसर्चला पण एक ग्राउंड कॉज पाहिजे. अच्छा, मी हा रिसर्च केला आहे, पण फक्त रिसर्चवर थांबत नाही, तर हाऊ विल दिस बी सक्सेसफुल. तुमच्याकडे एक प्रोजेक्शन पण पाहिजे की या तारखेला आपण चालू केलं, फर्स्ट 6 months माझं हे प्रोजेक्शन आहे, अँड दॅट हॅज टू बी रिअलिस्टिक. तुम्ही मनात आला तो आकडा टाकून नाही चालत. तुम्हाला अगेन प्रोजेक्शन नीड्स अ लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च. आता कॅफे उघडताना FC रोडवरती किती कॅफेज आहेत तर खूप आहेत, आणि FC रोड इज नॉट माय ओनली कंपेटिटर. प्रभात रोड इज ऑन दी अदर साइड, Bhandargarh road is on the other side, Update road is on the other side. So think of locality when you start a business. It's something niche. जर खूप लोकांना माहिती नसणार आहे, जर तुम्ही काही नवीन चालू करताय तर त्यांना माहिती करून कसं द्यायचं. हाऊ डू यू एज्युकेट देम ऑन your business idea and how do you make them come. So initially research is very important where you how do you say, know exactly what your product is, and then you decide your target market based on your product. Finding a good business partner, I think, is very important. Maybe your parents, maybe a friend, maybe a colleague, but you need someone to take that load off, because you can't be present at all times, at every situation. You shouldn't have to, and you shouldn't take that kind of stress on yourself. So you should have a backup where when you feel overwhelmed, you have someone to rely on who can take the reins for a while till you get back. And again, when you feel stressed, you can always visit Nine Lives Cat Cafe. 14 of our cats will help you bust the stress.
I think I'll just add to Archit. What he said is very rightly put. Research is something that you really need to do. But something that I have read around and I really like it is that difference between a good idea and a great idea is the execution. So you should really know because आपल्या डोक्यात असंख्य ideas असतात and you want to start something of your own and you know that it's going to be a passion project. But execution is something where many businesses fail and it's the most difficult task. So you have to know how the operations are going to run and how you're actually going to execute it right from A to Z. So that's something you should really have in your mind.
Yes, one addition is financial discipline is important right from day one. Because you wouldn't know if you just at a blink of an eye you would have lost a lot of money. You have to be very careful when you are putting money in anything. And I think somebody asked about costing, so sorry, I did not answer that time. But software product especially when you want to cost it or price it, it has its own difficulty because you have to guess the life of a product, which is in itself difficult, and also the market. So there are different dimensions, multiple dimensions for costing, and there's a lot of research going on, and it is continuous, I would say. So it's not so easy.
I'll just add to that as well is having a timeline. When you have your idea, you score your funding, you have your business partner, having I would say an honest timeline. When you plan to start this business out, you need to, because you're answerable to your stakeholders, your investors. So just because you receive that funding doesn't mean okay now you can chill a bit. You need to have a specific timeline. Okay, July I need to start this, by August this needs to be done, by September this needs to be sorted out, and I don't know if you plan to open up for October, you need to have that realistic timeline because everything else is on one side. Having that timeline is the only thing that will give you that push. Is as you know, your exam dates are a timeline for you when okay, this date I need to be prepared for this subject. So having that timeline for yourself and a realistic one is very important. That is the one thing that will keep you pushing until you reach that day.
Amit sir, any advice?
I told her about the financial discipline, right? So that's one area. And he rightly said, I mean, the timeline is beating the timeline, that's when you have to run and that's where you have to do the hard work. Another important thing is from day one you should always think that whatever your startup is, it's a different entity. Startup and you are not equal. Okay. And if you are able to do this, then the stress relieving will be much easier. Otherwise, you will always carry the burden on your shoulders. But see, it's a different organization, different entity. It's not you who are the startup. You're trying to make it happen. You're trying to make that entity successful. Right? So that's the differentiation you have to maintain.
Okay, thank you for your answers. I think we are done with the audience questions. So before moving on to the formal vote of thanks, I would like to say that we will be sharing a QR code. Okay, it is a feedback form QR code, and it will be also acting as a registration for you all so that you can attend few more events that are coming up in this quarter as well as the upcoming academic year for Institutions Innovation Council. So after the vote of thanks, we will be putting up the QR code and you all are supposed to scan it. Is that clear? So I request our student council member, Mr. Vivek Parmar, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I, Vivek Parmar, on behalf of KAVERI College of Arts, Science and Commerce, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who contributed to making this panel discussion on innovation and startup ecosystem enablers a grand success. A special thank you to our esteemed panelists, Mr. Archit Devdan, Mr. Amit Bagaikar, and Ms. Mukta Pandit, for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your expertise and perspectives. Your insights on innovation, entrepreneurship, and the enablers of a thriving startup ecosystem were incredibly enriching and thought-provoking. We are also deeply grateful to our respected principal, Dr. Mukta Karmakar Madam, Vice Principal, Dr. Ananta Uttikot Sir, and Mrs. Chitra Adavni, IQSC Head. A big thank you to institution's Innovation Council President, Mrs. Sonia Tungochkar, Revati Madam, and all the other faculty council members. I thank our moderators, Rama and Amal, and the other council members for their sincere efforts in planning and executing this event smoothly. Lastly, I thank you everyone for making this event a big success. Thank you.
Students, I request everyone to please scan the QR code and fill the form.